Hey, it's Shay. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to just be talking about my recent album, Turbulence, which is finally on Spotify. It only took like 8 weeks, of which should have taken 3 weeks, even with COVID, but you know, it's fine. The important part is it's up there now, so okay. So I have 9 songs on the album. I'm just going to be talking briefly about what they're about, and then like maybe talking a little bit about the production of each one. So let's get into it. Also, I recommend, if you're interested, to listen to the songs before you watch this video, just for like context and stuff. In a eulogy to my past self, I'd apologize for how you felt when the avalanche of rocks and pain fell and bruised and scraped your face, but you still held your head up high. Slowly started to defy the world and its unavoidable hell. So eulogy to my past self is a eulogy to kind of like childhood and your younger self and innocence. This is just a very somber song that tries to in the end kind of comfort you and comfort me, because it is me speaking. I'm the narrator in the song, and it's just like for the end when it's like you can reinvent yourself, I promise it's fine, or I promise it's allowed, whatever. I know my own lyrics. When I was young, and even now still, I had like this rational fear of getting in trouble. It's not as bad now, but I was always like afraid to ask for things or be like have any kind of self-preservation or selfishness or whatever. And so that was kind of me telling like myself that it's okay, you can do what you need to do and reinvent yourself. For this one, I used Soundtrap. It's a website that has some free tracks, like some free loops that you can use to create your own track, and I used it for like 4 or 5 songs, and this is the first one. But I opened up with this song because it's kind of like saying goodbye to my younger self, and like trying throughout this album just trying to start adulting, and like there's a whole bunch of shit going on in the world, and that was kind of saying goodbye to the innocence and the easy life. Working non-stop, not taking breaks, forget to eat during the day. On top of the world, unrealistic dreams in my lifetime can't be achieved. Jumbled up speech like stuttering, too many thoughts. What Am I is about when I was discovering that I have bipolar 2 disorder. The first verse is about depression, and the second verse is about hypomania. This whole thing this was the first song I wrote for the album, and it has very little instruments. Like the only music it has is piano, because I wanted for this song especially for you to focus on the lyrics, and it was just kind of a very monotonous time going through this, and I was trying to audibly emulate what depression and hypomania would feel like in a very simple song that still tells you what it's like to be depressive and hypomanic, and to have that memory loss that is associated with some mental illnesses in the bridge. And it's very simple, but it's one of my favorite songs that I've ever lyrically written. You're unlikable, so you have to buy a favor. You never ask about me or what I need. You run to by yourself, but I'm not here for your stunts. Don't you pretend like you're innocent. We both know what you did. You've been vigilant, playing dumb even when the jig is up. We'll never belong in the same club. Stunts is one of the angry songs on the album. There are like 3 or so angry songs. my best friend JV said that his favorite songs of mine are the ones where I'm just done with everything. This is about this kid who I was kind of friends with in high school, and he was very socially unaware of how I was feeling, and he was always like about himself and would do things to make me uncomfortable. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, usually intentionally. And then he started showing up to my house a few times when I wouldn't answer, and it was low-key stalkerish. Like, I feel bad for him because he doesn't have a lot of friends, but still, like, take the hint. And this song was just kind of me speaking to him and telling him to knock it the frick off. And this is the first song where I really started to experiment with the sound. I used Florida Studio or something. I'll put it up here where it is. But I really like at the end of the choruses and at the very end, the boom, 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 boom sound. I'm very proud of that. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite songs on the album. It's really fun to just dance to. Anyway. Never tell me to shut up, I am feminist as fuck. First things first, let's get something straight. Bad views of feminism makes me irate. Now we can fit over time definitions of the mutate, but it's about equality, not superiority. Feminism means equal right for the sexes. There are some people who think we're excessive, but come here, boy, and I'll give you a lesson. Feminist as Fuck is another angry song, and I really like this one. I think I used Soundtrap for this one as well, and it's a very short song. It's just me saying, like, I'm a feminist, this is why, this is why you should be too, this is why it's still needed. The song, you can definitely start to see my influence, or the way that Lorde has influenced my music for this album. For the beginning of last year and the beginning of this year, I started listening to a lot of Lorde, like her album Melodrama, which is amazing. And I noticed that for a lot of her songs, she has like the verse, and then in the chorus, it's like completely different. Like, I don't even know if she used any of the same instruments, and it sounds like different songs, but it still works. And that's kind of what this song sounded like. And lyrically, this is probably another one of my favorite songs I've written, at least on the album. Then you run and hide, keep your pink balloons, and keep your fancy signs. Yeah, we don't want your pity, no, we don't want your lies, we want equal pay. And Pink Balloons is, I think, my last angry song. It's definitely another feminist one. The title of Pink Balloons, I was focusing on like the idea of how when it's beneficial for some people and companies to kind of tag along on a civil rights movement like Black Lives Matter, Pride Month, how all the companies are like, yeah, Pride for just June, and how when it's beneficial for companies they'll be like, yeah, we support women, we support allies, het white women, and how it's like that performative allyship, and I just talk about like how there are these double standards like masturbation and stuff, and how you only support white ally cis-het women and when you support them, and just kind of like calling out the fake allies. For this one, also from the chorus when it says keep your pink balloons, and I really like that effect I did. That was the first time I'd ever like tried to do an effect like that, and I had a lot of fun with it because it sounded like it sounded very slightly like an actually studio produced song, which none of these are because I'm just in my bedroom making them, and they're just for fun, so that's why they don't sound professional at all. Sometimes I wish I were dead, but I never pursue it, and when I chopped off my head, needed a change, it was there. When they ask what makes me happy. Happy is a song about, there are songs about having to get over lost friendships or lost romantic relationships, but they're very rarely songs about getting over bad familial relationships, and this is what Happy is about. Again, I love the lyrics, especially in the second verse, I believe, and I kind of, like, whenever you see a song with the title Happy, you expect it to, like, be happy, like I'm happy, anyway. It's like that false misnomer, and so, like, I was quite pleased with myself for that. Anyway. This is just, like, about again, another one about growing up and, like, starting to have mental illness and not being sure what makes you happy and content in life and what you want to do, and, like, the recognition that you need to do something about it, whether, like, cut ties or try and fix the severed ties, because you can't grow as a person staying in, like, that melancholy and just really trapped state of mind that you're in. So you need to do something about it, or else you will never grow as a person. She doesn't always believe in marriage, mainly because of her grandparents. One cheated on his wife, one hated him her entire life. Worth the Wait is the only song on the album that I decided to just do, like, on my acoustic guitar. I say it in third person, but it's obviously about me, how, like, you trust people in relationships and you are always, like, hurt and stuff, but then, like, you still have that little sliver of hope that you'll find someone who... Sorry, my camera battery died, so I had to charge it a bit. Yeah, this is just me saying, like, how I want to find that one guy who'll be like, I'm here, take your time, I'm not leaving you your mind. So that basically, like, he still believes in me and is willing to put in the same amount of work that I am in a relationship. Just that, like, in the verses I talk about how like, my influences for why I don't always, like, why I'm always kind of hesitant to share my romantic feelings with somebody, I guess, because my parents and grandparents and stuff. There's not much to say about this song. Hit the ground hard when I fell from the sky, as a part of me from the past lay and died. Turbulence is another song where you can kind of see the influences of Lord's music, with the verses and the choruses sounding, like, completely different in terms of, like, instruments and stuff. This is another one I used Soundchop for, but then I also, like, downloaded the sound of, like, books, the pages rustling and stuff, because this one is, like, very fairy tale-esque, and it reminds me a lot of Wonderland, the song by Taylor Swift, like, in terms of, like, falling down into, like, this kind of rabbit hole and just, like, discovering this new land and having to go through, like, a whole bunch of trials and tribulations. So I figured out the album title first, it'd be Turbulence, and I knew I wanted to have a song called Turbulence. I just didn't know what it'd be about, and this was, like, the last song I wrote for the album, because I didn't know what direction I wanted to take it, and in the end I had it be, like, this kind of dark fairy tale and stuff. I love, like, the sounds that you can hear in the first verse, like, hit the ground hard when it fell, like, hit the ground hard when it fell from the sky. Just that, like, if you listen to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway. But then I have, like, I think the whole thing is kind of an extended metaphor, again, for, like, having to leave childhood and growing up and having to face these different foes that will challenge you and, like, warn you and try and be wise, and, like, writing and having to, like writing and traveling and just, like, discovering the world and meeting new people and using that to kind of, like, educate yourself, and knowing that there are going to be harder things in your life than what you've experienced, and knowing that you need to, like, kind of get the tools you need in order to be able to prevail. The bridge is, like, an homage to the first verse, where I hit the ground hard when I fell from the sky, and then I say acceptance, indifference, I'm finally free. That kind of reminded me of I Forgot You Existed by Taylor Swift. again, she is a big influence on my music as well. And how it's like, it's not, it isn't love, it isn't hate, it's just indifference. Like that kind of thing, where it's like, yeah, whatever happens has happened. I can't change the past. I can just like use it and what I know now to better the future. Fear, pain, indecision, head, heart, hard collision. Lately I've been constantly out of hope. Fire is the last song on the album, and again, a big theme in this album is like the loss of childhood and having to grow up and stuff. And Fire is about like having to finally like consciously metaphorically kill my old self and having to kind of like rebuild with like armor and knowledge and just like strong relationships and stuff. And I had like a sound effect a few times where it's like a flame, and it wasn't as subtle as I wanted it to be, but I also wanted to like be heard, and I couldn't quite balance that out. Again, I'm still learning for production, so it's by no way professional. But it was just kind of like this, I had this very visual image of like this girl burning and then just like rising from the ashes like a phoenix. And in the bridge I reference another song of mine, Slow Burn, from Slow Burn, where it's like they don't have to be perfect, they just have to be worth it. We're talking about like wanting long-term slow burn kind of love, and how the person that you're falling in love with doesn't have to be perfect at all, but they just have to be worth it for you to keep trying and stuff. And in the bridge I say like, I know I'm not perfect, but damn it, I am worth it. It's kind of like that, kind of flipping it and being like, they're worth it, but I am as well, and I need to better like work on myself, and continue to fight for myself. And in the ending, it says, I set my past self on fire, killed her because I had to. Now I need a renaissance. Welcome to my renaissance. Renaissance is going to be the title of my next album, which I'm already working on. I already have like 8 songs written for it. I wrote a lot of songs the first couple months of quarantine. It was great. But yeah, that's a little bit about my album Turbulence. I'm proud of the lyrics of this. I'm kind of cringing about the production, but it's okay because like, I'm still proud of it, because I'm still learning and getting better than my last album and stuff. And that's about Turbulence. It's on Spotify now. I'll put the link in the description and or in the cards. And I'll also put the playlist for it on YouTube in the description as well, in case you prefer to listen to it on that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I upload. I upload pretty regularly, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. I set my past self on fire. I killed her 'cause I had to. Now I need a renaissance. Welcome to my renaissance.